All right, let's talk about a challenge that sounds, well, kind of crazy. Crushing the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam in just 1 week. But what if I told you it's totally possible, and that there's a proven roadmap to get you there? Okay, let's dive in.
So let's just get right to it. Can you really actually go from zero to certified in only 7 days? It's the big question, right? And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, no way, that's just not realistic.
But the short answer is a confident, definite yes. The key here isn't some kind of magic trick. It's all about approaching it the right way. This has nothing to do with having a superhuman memory and everything to do with a smart, focused strategy.
And that strategy, it starts way before you even open a single study guide. It all begins with your mindset. Seriously, this is the foundation for everything we're going to do this week.
So what does a winning mindset even look like? Well, it is not about pulling all-nighters and just randomly cramming information. Nope. It's about structure and consistency. Think about it like you're training for a marathon. You wouldn't run 26 miles on day one, right? You do short, focused sprints every single day to build up your strength and momentum.
So, with that right mindset locked in, let's get to the fun part, the actual game plan. Here's the exact day-by-day roadmap that is going to turn 1 week of focus into a passing score on your exam.
And here it is. Look at that. Each day has a very clear, very manageable goal. We start with the basics, then move through the core services, security, pricing, and then, and this is key, the last couple of days are all about practice and review. Let's just zoom in on a couple of these days to see what I mean. Okay, day 2 is huge. It zeroes in on the absolute essentials, the bedrock of AWS. You can think of EC2 as your virtual computer in the cloud. S3 is like your infinite hard drive for files. RDS is for your classic databases, Lambda lets you run code without even thinking about servers, and DynamoDB is for those super fast, flexible databases. I'm telling you, mastering these 5 is non-negotiable.
Then on day 3, we hit security. And this is so critical. You've got to know IAM for managing who can do what, security groups, which act like a virtual firewall, and KMS for all your encryption needs. But pay extra close attention to that last one, the shared responsibility model. The exam loves to ask questions about this. You have to know what you're responsible for versus what AWS takes care of.
Okay, so you've got the mindset, you've got the roadmap. Now let's just power that all up with a few pro tips that are going to make your study sessions so much more effective.
First up, get visual. Seriously. AWS is this giant web of interconnected services, and just trying to read about it can make your head spin. But if you start creating mind maps, you can actually see how the services connect. Or use flashcards for that quick recall. It helps lock these complex ideas in your brain way faster.
Oh man, this one is so important. The exam isn't going to ask you what is S3. It's going to give you a scenario like a company needs to store backups for cheap. Which service should they use? See the difference? You need to understand the concept and the use case, not just spit back a definition.
Remember, the real exam has a ticking clock. That pressure is real, and getting used to it early is a total game changer. Taking short, timed quizzes every day builds up that mental muscle for finding the right answer quickly when it counts.
And finally, let me just give you a huge sigh of relief here. AWS has hundreds of services. You do not need to know them all for this exam, not even close. Just focus your energy on the fundamentals we laid out in the roadmap. Master the core stuff, and you are going to be in fantastic shape. All right, you are pretty much armed and ready. You've got the mindset, the roadmap, the pro tips. There's just one more piece to the puzzle to make sure you walk into that testing center with total, absolute confidence. Now think about exam day itself, the real test. It's not just a knowledge quiz, it's a test of endurance. You're going to face 65 questions in 90 minutes. That means you're not just being tested on what you know, but on your ability to stay sharp and perform consistently when the clock is ticking.
So how do you build that endurance? You practice. It's that simple. And that is exactly where QuizFactor comes in. With over 1,000 practice questions designed specifically for the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, you can simulate the real thing over and over. You'll master the clock, spot your weak areas, and walk into that exam feeling like you've already seen it all before. The link is right there in the description.